Holy crap, ICE has just confirmed that it arrested the employers of 48 illegal immigrants in South Carolina. Both the plant manager and HR coordinator for a casting company in Abbeville, South Carolina were arrested and face years in prison. Is this what you voted for? Fuck yeah, this is what I voted for! Arrest them! Oh God, I know it's like, don't preemptively get too excited, because maybe our corrupt Justice Department will just let them off like we see so many times. But they're finally arresting employers. It's finally happening. Consequences for hiring illegals. Fuck yes. I love to see it. I love to see it. Look at these fucking disgusting individuals selling out their nation for cheap labor. You should also get the fuck out of my country.
Everywhere. I got an escort out this bitch. Black trucks. I get escort, gang. Look at this shit. This shit is diabolical.
Diabolical.
On my mama there. Man, I already got bad luck there. My money fucked up.
That's fucking great. I know I see some of you guys saying like arrest means nothing without conviction. I know. I'm gonna be pissed if somehow they don't get a conviction, but the arrests are actually happening. That should be something to celebrate regardless, because how many fucking years have we been asking for repercussions for the employers of illegal immigrants? If people weren't hiring the illegal immigrants, they wouldn't be getting jobs. People die when they are killed. So it's good that these employers are finally having some kind of repercussion. Hopefully, yes, they get the conviction. The arrest will mean nothing without that. But I am happy that this is at least happening. It's something. It is something tangible. Please, for the love of fuck. More than 50 arrested in an upstate immigration sting. 6 people were indicted on criminal charges, while 48 workers at the Abbeville plant were detained by federal immigration agents. A raid focused on people who forge paperwork and hire workers living in the country illegally led to dozens of arrests at an Abbeville metal castings maker, law enforcement officials announced on Thursday. 2 managers were among the 50 arrested Wednesday, showing how South Carolina officials hope to keep people from entering the country without legal permission. 3 others accused of forging documents were arrested months ago, said State Attorney General Alan Wilson. Instead of targeting the workers themselves, officials want to stop the people believed to be selling them false papers for hiring purposes. Arrest all of them. It's so easy for people to get those, so that's the problem that we need to fight, said Crichton Waters, chief attorney overseeing the state grand jury. Crichton, he's a flower! Once law enforcement officers arrived at the plant at around 9:30 a.m. Wednesday, he said, they couldn't ignore that some workers had entered the country without legal permission. The state grand jury, which consists of 18 people who hear complex criminal cases, indicted 2 managers of the metal castings company, Bernstein von Salen, on charges of identity fraud to obtain employment, and criminal conspiracy and forgery. A message left by the SC Daily Gazette on the company's voicemail Thursday seeking comment was not returned. Another 4 people were charged with forgery and identity fraud under allegations they created and sold false documents to workers who needed them. All but 1 have been arrested. Authorities are still looking for that person. The investigation is ongoing, so more charges are possible. People shouldn't be afraid to go to work or out in public following the raid, Wilson said. State law enforcement officials don't intend to go after companies unless they have proof someone is fabricating documents or intentionally hiring people without proof of legal residence. I want to make it clear that we're not targeting communities because of what you look like or where you work. We're targeting specific conduct. We're following the facts of that conduct, and if it leads us to a crime, we're going to prosecute that crime. It's really sad that he even needs to say this, if I'm being honest. Like, he shouldn't need to explain that we're not arresting people because they're brown, we're arresting them because they broke the law. And also their employers are white, and they also broke the law to employ them. Jace Woodrum, director for the state's chapter of the American Civil Liberties Union, said the raid will stoke fear among people who are trying to do what's best for their families. They can do what's best for their families in their home countries. Get them out! He cautioned that the investigation is still in its early phases, meaning people don't yet know the full story of what happened. The bottom line is that these employees showed up for work and many of them will not be able to return home to their families. No. That's the whole point of the raid, is to return them home to their families, outside of the United States, where they belong. In other states, we've seen similar actions include gross violations of individual liberties that are guaranteed to all, regardless of immigration status. Once again, our Constitution should not be used for foreign invaders who break the law to come here. They should not get any of those benefits, and the fact that this lawyer can say this, and people will agree with him and say that it should apply, is part of the problem. Wilson said Operation Ghost Story, as the investigation is called, started in October 2024, when local law enforcement officers complained to the state attorney general's office that the Abbeville machine shop employed many workers without permanent legal status. And if you know of something in your area that is also hiring illegals, you should also report them to your state attorney general's office. That is your patriotic duty and something that you can do as just a regular Joe individual. Police in the area didn't feel they had the resources to investigate the case, so they reached out to the Attorney General's office and State Law Enforcement Division for help, said Wilson, one of the 5 Republicans running for governor. Undercover work and witnesses led law enforcement officers to believe the plant's managers hired workers several times under different names, suggesting they knew the documents were fake. The Attorney General's office decided to pursue the case the way that it would a drug bust. Rather than going after the people using the forged documents, investigators wanted to know where the documents were coming from and stop the people creating and selling them, in turn preventing more people from using them. This is the correct thing to do. If you find the illegals, you don't arrest them immediately. You go undercover, figure out how they're getting hired as an illegal that shouldn't have any proper paperwork, then arrest the people conspiring and hiring them, and then arrest the illegals to send them home. You arrest everybody, shut off the source, get them out, pack up the illegals, send them home. It's a twofer. It's just that easy. The false documents often listed real social security and driver's license numbers, which constitutes identity fraud, he said. And I've been talking about this for years before it even became something that was finally admitted in the mainstream. Yes, a lot of the ways that illegal immigrants are able to get hired and quote-unquote pay taxes, like so many lefties like to prompt, is because they steal other Americans' identities. They steal social security numbers. Even Tim at the old hotel that he used to work at said that some of the employed there have social security numbers stolen from other people. And the images do not match up on the licenses that were put into his company's system. So it's like, this happens. This has been happening. Immigrations and custom enforcement officers accompanied state and local officers to check workers' residency status and detain anyone without the proper documentation. ICE is processing the 48 workers arrested with the intention of deporting anyone who lacks the proper paperwork to live in the country. Most of the workers came from Guatemala or Mexico, said Maria Summers, Assistant Field Officer Director for ICE. The Trump administration's focus on immigration helped accelerate the process, Wilson said, though he said the investigation is not a political issue at all. Once Trump took office, the state had more federal support to move forward. But the state would have pursued the operation either way, he said. He couldn't say whether the arrests were a direct result of a revival in agreements for local law enforcement officers to help federal agents detain immigrants. The city and county of Abbeville are not among the 42 police and sheriff's departments that have signed on to the program, called 287G agreements. SLED does have an agreement allowing agents to enforce immigration laws. A bill that would have required all law enforcement agencies that operate a jail to sign up for at least one version of the program passed the House 8426, but never got a hearing in the Senate. This was the second major raid the Attorney General's office has publicly participated in the past year. In June 2025, state law enforcement officers helped arrest 80 people at an unlicensed Charleston County nightclub. People at that club that night and advocates decried the raid for detaining people on civil immigration charges, not for criminal charges, and scaring the community away from large gatherings. I really hate this civil immigration charge, not for criminal actions. You came into the country illegally. I don't care the level of egregiousness. That is a criminal act. Get the fuck out. That was not the intent of this week's operation, Waters and Wilson said. The investigation is not about identifying hardworking people that are just trying to put food on the table, but we cannot ignore identity theft. We cannot ignore blatant violations of the law. I hope this is just a weasel word way to word this in order to prevent attacks from fucking the left. But you should not lean into their hardworking people trying to put food on the table narrative, because they're not. I don't give a shit. If you came here illegally, you must leave. If you've lived here illegally for decades, you doubly must leave. You've spent decades defrauding my country. You are not hardworking. You are leech-sucking scum. Get out. It's only bad if you do bonus crime. Absolutely ridiculous. And bonus, an anonymous source from the area, I asked him if I could read his thing on stream. And he said he had more information about this particular thing because he lives in the area. The ICE raid where the manager and HR lady got arrested happened less than a mile and a half from where I live. Every Mexican restaurant from here to Greenwood and Hanea Path closed down except for one. Like, straight up locked their doors and kicked everybody out immediately. The one that stayed open, his personal favorite, served all of the ICE guys for free, and they were all flexing having their papers, quote unquote, unlike the Prismian people. So ICE supposedly talked to the leadership at Prismian, which is like 600 yards from the place that got raided, and now it's a comparative ghost town. No shit, like 300 people plus their families abandoned town overnight. U-Haul hubs are empty today. Lots of shit boxes for sale on the roadside now too. Buddy's landlord didn't have any of his lawn care guys show up this morning. All gone. Whole town's reeling, and word on the street is that the HR people at Prismian are in a bind and might testify against the higher-ups in exchange for no prison time. The local road crews are gutted, reps are loitering at the Ingalls off North Main trying to recruit temps, and state transport police are running checks on damn near every 18-wheeler that rolls into town. Cop at the Crossroads gas station said 3 drivers detained so far today. Crazy shit. Thought you'd enjoy the info. Yeah, absolutely fucking mogged, and he was right. I did absolutely enjoy the info. And I was like, holy shit, please let me relay this absolute white pill to my chat. Fucking wild to hear. If only all of our towns could get that same treatment, that'd be fucking wonderful. I'd love to see it. Jen Jacko, thank you. It's great that they're doing this. You want to see it on a federal level because you know that they're not doing this in California or New York. Yeah? I mean, I would love to see it on a federal level, but that don't mean we can't celebrate it actually happening in other places. Hell fucking yeah. The Senate killed the SAVE Act 48-50. Voter ID and proof of citizenship supported by over 80% of Americans dead. 4 Republicans voted no. Tillis, Murkowski, McConnell, and Collins. The Uniparty showed its face today. So they have a yes 48, no 51. Motion to waive the Budget Act with respect to the Graham Amendment to Session 2, the Reconciliation Bill. Is this just, I guess, showing the final tally on a video feed? Oh, cool looking fucking desk there, though. Nice marble. Yes, they vote this down, but then they ask for fucking digital ID bullshit, right? I think...
On this vote, the yeas are 48, the nays are 50, 3/5 of the senators duly chosen and sworn not having voted in the affirmative. The motion is not agreed to.
These people absolutely need to be voted out. McConnell is either losing his seat or retiring. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure he's already somewhat taken care of. I don't know what state these other last names are in. Like, I need their states with them to know, you know? This is so fucking retarded. Yeah, it's very retarded. He's like, I just want to fuck the American people one more time before I get out, you know? Collins is Maine, you think? Collins is Maine or Alaska. Tillis is North Carolina. Tillis and McConnell are retiring. That's really disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Can't help but notice nobody is primarying these clowns with a $45 or $35 million. Get more primaries set up, man. Get involved in your local politics. Can't vote Collins out or we get Platner. That can't be the only option, man. That cannot be the only option. Be Lena the Plug, date Adam22, launch OnlyFans, turn Plug Talk into a Sleep With Your Guest podcast, marry Adam22, demand an open relationship with Jason Love, make Adam film her getting destroyed by Jason, make millions from cuckold content, drain 50% of his earnings, live lavish with Jason Love, force him into a boxing match just to watch Jason TKO his ass in 73 seconds, set him up, catch him cheating with a dude, file for divorce. They thankfully set a community note here, and it says, the divorce did not occur. Lena the Plug denies the filing and claims it was unauthorized identity theft by a stalker. And when I read this, when I pulled up this tab before stream, I was like, that sounds kind of like my mom. Hold on, is Lena the Plug leading a similar life to my mother? Because my mother had the fake claim that her ex-neo-Nazi hacked her Facebook and made people believe that she was dead. And then my brother told me, no, actually, there's no reason her ex-Nazi would do that, because she just pretends to be bedridden while her husband is home, and when he goes to work, she goes to the motel that the ex-Nazi lives at and has sex with him. So this sounds like a very similar story to what's going on with Adam the Cuck and Lena the Plug. She made a video here that says, Lena the Plug confirmed she and Adam22 never divorced. They're still happily together in their open relationship. Someone tried to file for divorce on her behalf, but they're good and happy.
This story is so insane that if you don't believe me, I honestly don't believe
She looks like an evil witch in a JRPG.
you. Someone who is not me has been trying to file for divorce on my behalf. I know this because they've been filling out the paperwork incorrectly, and so it is being sent to my house. It happened in, I think, March and then in April. I guess they finally figured out how to properly file for divorce because now there's a legitimate case number at the courthouse under my name. They have been...
How does that happen? Like, even if you have a stalker, how are they able to file official paperwork in your name at a courthouse? That doesn't make sense to me. She looks like a frat house blow-up doll. Oh, no.
forging my signature, and I know who they are because their name is on the check that got sent to my house claiming that I want to be divorced.
Those are always the best, right? When they like leave that information and you're just like, why would you do this? I mean, like, thank you for doing this because now you're going to face the repercussions. You have fucked around and you're about to find out. But like, holy shit.
Now, this TMZ article came out, so I have to tell you guys about this. It claims that I filed for divorce on my birthday. On my birthday, I was on Rodeo with Adam and my daughter shopping for my birthday. Not at the courthouse filing for divorce. This article also claims that I only get $3,000 a month in spousal support and that I have no access to any of our other finances.
What?
Basically implying that like Adam sends me out to work and then just hoards all of my money. Not true. We're both breadwinners, but I make more most of the time and I have access to all of my finances. So not true. I know that everyone out there was like so hyped, like everything that they've ever believed about us. They're like, yeah, we knew they weren't going to make it. They're divorcing. Not true. But what an insane story. Like, how am I going to undo this? When I called the courthouse to be like, is there actually a case number under my name? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, so what do I do? They're like, wait, we don't know because like you filed it. I'm like, but not.
Yeah, like how does that, can she actually get forced divorced by someone filing fake? Like what the fuck? What the fuck?
Me, this other person, who I guess we can call like a crazy psycho stalker fan, maybe. My theory is that they're talking to a catfish person who's pretending to be me and claiming that like Adam does all this awful stuff to me, help me get out.
I mean, even if that's true, right? Even if that's true and they're a psycho schizo stalker, how does a psycho schizo stalker like able to do that? Like, don't you need personal, like more information than just like a name to file for divorce? Like, wouldn't you need like a social security number? How the fuck did they get that? Is this just like a stunt for social media? Like, I've never been married, so I don't know how divorce works, but I feel like you would need personal information that is so personal you typically can't find it online, right? So, that seems kind of weird. Or she made it up. Yeah, this seems like maybe a stunt to get more attention.
Out of it type thing, send me money, I need help. And so they're being duped by this person. This same person, because I know who they are, I know their name, had the cops come to my house 2 different times. filing a wellness check, and I had to tell the cops, like, come in, I'm not being abused. So yeah, now I have to figure out what I'm gonna do to undo this, because I did not file for divorce. It sounds made up, but it's not.
At least she acknowledges it.
Anyways, I'm sorry. I know you wanted it to be true so bad, internet, but it's not. 10 years strong. We're still going.
If this is true, that is incredibly fucked up. And even if this woman is, like, vile and disgusting, I don't think you should harass her by, like, fake filing for divorce and whatnot. Like, that's incredibly fucked up. She knows who it is, but hasn't gotten a restraining/protective order. I don't know how easy or hard it is to get a restraining/protective order on, like, somebody online. So maybe that's just too difficult to do, right? It wouldn't surprise you, given how fraud-laden our systems are, that mass ID scanning stuff they're pushing right now definitely isn't helping keep SSN safe. I mean, maybe. Protective orders are hard without evidence of threats. Yeah. Archive everything, man. When filing for divorce, you need personal info such as social security, all of the marriage info down to the venue and cost, and employment information, tax filings. This sounds like a stunt for social media. It sounds very stunty because they've kind of fallen out of the, like, attention of Twitter, I suppose. But if it's true, don't harass people like that. It's fucked up. She might be gross, but don't try to file for divorce on her behalf. In Australia, at least, if you have access to even a photo of a marriage certificate, $1,000, and risk federal time forging 3 signatures, you can divorce anytime. Yeah, she did say that her signature was forged, so that means that that guy, since they know who he is because he left his name on a check, that guy's kind of fucked. This is from the Christian Post. It says, PBS Kids show Sesame Street continues sexual messaging with Pride post. One of TV's longest-running children's shows is facing backlash for once again linking its puppets to homosexuality on social media. Oh my god. I don't read Christian news articles often, so I'm not used to it just being blatantly said like that.
Girl, you know it's true.
Sesame Street shared a post on social media Tuesday which read, Happy Pride Month from Sesame Street. Join us in celebrating and uplifting the gay and lesbian members of our community. And they replaced gay and lesbian with LGBTQIA. That's on the actual tweet. It says LGBTQIA plus members. Yeah, that's kind of weird for a children's show to tweet out. The post also included an image featuring different rainbow-colored furs resembling the puppet characters from Sesame Street, such as Elmo, Cookie Monster, and others. Primarily geared towards toddlers, the PBS series, which was acquired last year by Netflix, I forgot about that, drew the ire of pastors and other evangelical groups on social media, including Turning Point USA, which criticized Sesame Street for its pro-LGB messaging. This is literally a show meant for children, TPUSA wrote on X. Pastor Josh Howerton, senior pastor of Lake Point Church in Rockwell, Texas, also called out Sesame Street for marketing sexual lifestyles to children. But, Razor Fist quote retweeted it with a Daily Mail article that says 3 underage sex assault charges against ex-Elmo puppeteer Kevin Clash dropped as the judge says statute of limitations has expired.
Wait. Oh my gosh, you love Elmo, don't you? Elmo, you okay? Just a lie, Elmo liked you before.
Ask permission before you touch people, Larry.
I had no idea that Elmo caught fucking sex assault against minor charges. That's kind of insane. I had never seen this before. Oh yeah, the original Elmo was a total creep. That is kind of crazy. You thought there wasn't statute of limitations on sex crimes? Yeah, those are like the primary beneficiaries to statute of limitations. What do you mean? They always have to be around the kids. It's also tiresome. It's especially tiresome when someone tells you that they have sexual feelings towards children and then they tell you that they purposefully get jobs around children for this reason. And then everyone just ignores that, like that's something normal people say. It's like, that's kind of fucked up. That's kind of fucking weird. I wonder why nobody's saying anything about that. That's weird.
Put your right hand in the box.
What's in the box?
Pain.
Nmplol dropped a concluding update about his divorce on YouTube. There's 2 different courts, the court of public opinion and then there's the court of law, where I believe that was the best place to spend most of my time and focus most of my efforts. She wanted a 60-40 split, wanted me to pay her $5,000 a month for 5 years, a majority of my part of the split to be locked up in my OTK shares, not to be able to talk about the case, lawyer fees. Essentially, what I'm asking for is a clean 50-50 split down the middle, just like I wanted in April and March 2025. The court ruling, essentially the same exact offer that I had offered her back in March and April 2025, with the exception of the extra $15K. Court case cost over $400,000 in lawyer fees. Expert fees, in my opinion. Most of it was unnecessary, but I had to go. I do believe that me not streaming was the quickest way to come to a conclusion. This whole thing has been quite stressful, so many things said about me that aren't true. Once I got this ruling, I literally broke down and cried. And after having said all that, I have no idea how he has the fortitude to say this next sentence. He says, wish Milena and her family the best. I have no ill will towards them. Hopefully things go well for them and I'm just ready to get back to work. I want to give this another try and see if I can still do it via Nmplol on YouTube. I think if I was like dragged through court in a divorce where my significant other was demanding a lot more than they were entitled to, and then also like had this like weird court of public opinion bashing on me, I don't think I would be able to, yeah, I wish them the best. I'd probably be like, yeah, fuck them. Fuck them, buddy.
So I've been away for quite a while. Let me tell you why. At this point, the case is over. I've been trying to get this divorce settled. It was a lot longer process than I thought, and I haven't talked about it in any official way up until this point. There's two different courts. There's the court of public opinion, that is Reddit, Twitter, all those great and wonderful
Never
places.
believe Reddit.
And then there's the court of law, where I believe that was the best place to spend most of my time.
That's correct.
And focus most of my efforts. Divorce was filed by Milena in January of 2025. We had split up the previous year. It was amicable. We tweeted about it on Twitter. Everyone saw that. And the divorce ended up being officially filed by her in, like I said, January. I sent Milena a 50-50 offer down the middle in April of that year. She did not accept it. I did not know what she wanted out of this divorce until mediation, which was actually in November. And essentially what she wanted was the same thing she wanted in trial, and that's what we have here. I warned Milena that trial would be very expensive. It would cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, but still we had to go to trial, and you'll see why. You can file divorce on other grounds, and I'll explain what those are. Cruelty. You can file for adultery, which didn't happen. Conviction of a felony, abandonment, living apart, etc. She filed on the grounds of insupportability. I'll explain quickly what she wanted. She wanted a 60-40 split because of her reasons listed. She wanted me to pay her $5,000 a month for 5 years.
So she filed for divorce based on insupportability, which I guess it sounds like he wouldn't support her. And so in the divorce filing, she demands that he supports her even more than she claims he couldn't during the marriage. What the fuck kind of backwards ass logic is this?
Wanted the majority of my part of the split to be locked up in my OTK shares.
Is this the guy who was glad those children drowned in the Texas River flood? What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? What the hell? It is? What? What? He did say, what? Okay, this was July 5th, 2025. 2.7 mil views. Watch as Twitch streamer Nmplol, who has 1.2 million followers, makes dark jokes about the deadly Texas floods that have sadly killed 47 people and left over 27 girls missing from a summer camp.
Like 13 confirmed people dead and like 12 like campers are lost right now from a summer camp nearby.
Campers?
Is
it children awake?
Younglings, Nick.
Okay. They don't have much to live for anyways. It's okay.
Wait, they have their whole lives ahead of them.
Yeah. What? Their whole lives, Bree?
I think the joke could have probably stopped at like, it's okay. They have nothing. Like, he clearly is telling it as a joke. But there were people on Twitter who were, for some reason, somewhat thrilled when those campers were killed by the flood, because apparently it was mostly white campers, which was, that's a very strange thing to get excited about. But it's like when there are actually people, right? When you actually have people en masse like celebrating something tragic happening, it gets harder to like try and even make a dark joke about it, because everyone will just assume you're not joking like these other people aren't joking. Incredibly poor taste. I can see what he was trying to do, right? The like, this is a horrible situation, I'm going to try and tell a dark joke to lighten the mood. It definitely did not land.
It's gonna breathe. When they're older, every job's gonna be AI. Everything they learn is on ChatGPT. There is no future.
And, the text was correct as well, right? Like, after he said it, all the other streamers kind of understood, hold on, wait a minute. This is not the time for that. And he just had to double down on it. It was poorly made, unlike the 9/11 jokes. If he ended there, it's a clear joke. Yeah, the fact that
They have their whole lives ahead of them.
Yeah.
What their whole
yeah, see,
life?
that was a like, hey man, maybe not right now. Maybe not right now. And then he doubled down, and that's where it's like, okay, bro. You just, yeah, maybe don't do that. But it's not a clear malicious, like, oh yeah, they got what they deserved like some other people were doing. So I'm willing to give him a small benefit of doubt here. Rolled a nat 1 on that joke. That's your point? What a prick. Failed successfully. He's not quite funny enough to do it right. I don't know if I would be able to come up with something funny in that moment, so I probably also would have completely abstained. Gotta remember, he's a Hassan fan. Ooh. I don't like that context.
She wanted me not to be able to talk about the case whatsoever.
See, that's a red flag. I would never sign anything, especially in a divorce proceeding, that was just like, you can't talk about the divorce proceeding.
She wanted the things about taxes. She also wanted me to pay her lawyer fees. So, what did I want? Let's get into it. Essentially, what I'm asking for in this is a clean 50-50 split down the middle, just like I wanted back in April. And
he's also still friends with Asman. He's a very sit-in-the-middle kind of guy. Okay, that's better context.
March of 2025. What we have here is the court's ruling. This is what everyone's been waiting for, so let's just go ahead and get right into it. Remember during...
Let's get right into the divorce!
Malena's disposition of issues, she had asked for a 60-40 split because of things like economic and financial abuse of the petitioner. She did not get that.
What?
The community estate was essentially just 50-50 split down the middle, with the exception of Starforge, which is about a $15,000 extra towards Malena, and it makes sense to me. I will probably earn more than her going forward, and that seems pretty fair to me. To summarize, it was essentially the same exact offer that I had offered her back in.
She filed for socioeconomic factors. That's just wild to me, man. You were cleaning the TV lounge in AIT military training during the 9/11 attacks, and the place was packed for the second plane. We were making jokes there. Yeah, it's like one of the ways that people deal with tragedy is by making jokes about it. But like the double down that he did was just like, bro, that ain't look good, buddy. Yeah, it's insane that there's an option for didn't give me enough money. Yeah, that's wild.
March and April of 2025, with the exception of the extra $15K, this court case lasted well over a year. It cost over $400,000 in lawyer fees, expert fees, and in my opinion, most of it was unnecessary. But I had to go. I had no choice. If I was to continue to stream through everything, people would have been harassing me about it the entire time, like they did when I first started. And I do.
I mean, even beyond like not being able to talk about things and having to field people wanting to know what's going on, when you're in like a court case like that, I think it's just best for your mental health to not stream during it. I think it's best for you to like focus all of your energy on the court case, right? Because like that shit can get really fucking stressful.
I believe that me not streaming was the quickest way to come to a conclusion with this divorce. Speaking for me emotionally, this whole thing has been quite stressful. There's been so many things said about me that just aren't true. It was somewhat exhausting, and once I got this ruling,
It's very exhausting when you constantly have to field people making shit up about you and lying about you. I get you, buddy.
I literally broke down and cried. Like I was like sobbing tears, you know, that it was finally over. This actually happened back in January when we finally got the ruling. But you know, lawyer stuff, it took until last month for it to actually be over. I wish Malena and her family the best. I have no ill will towards them. Hopefully things go well for them, and I'm just ready to get back to work. I want to give this another try, see if I can still do it, so.
That fucking sucks that he had a divorce from hell having to go on. Bitches like his ex-wife are the reason so many guys are afraid to get into a relationship. I mean, it's not my relationship, but I am kind of curious, like, what what made her file like this. Like, that's fucking crazy to me. Representative Brandon Gill, beep, throws Ohio Democrat state senator into tears by asking, has Somali immigration been good for Ohio? Oh my god, the fucking Jubbaland people.
Has Somali immigration been good for Ohio?
You know, that's really outside of my purview of
You're a state senator. Would you like to see more?
No, you're a state senator. That's exactly in your purview. What do you mean? You can't dodge the question. And I really hate this game of acknowledging reality is bad, so we have to play this weird cat and mouse catch game where, like, you have to ask them just a regular question that any normal human being should be able to answer. But everyone has been conditioned over the last, like, 20 or 30 years that if you speak about reality, you are a bad person. You must do everything in your power to ignore what reality is showing you. Only then can you be a good person, TM.
Now, as far as I'm processing your question, and I have to say that I was almost brought to tears just now.
72%.
Because
like, first of all, no, she wasn't. She doesn't look like she was almost brought to tears. That is so performative. Second of all, if you were actually almost brought to tears, you should be immediately recalled. You do not belong in the position that you have. You are fucked up. You are no good. You will not be able to make non-emotional decisions.
The rate and the level of hateful rhetoric.
It's not hateful rhetoric to point out the Somalians are scamming you! You dumb whore! If it was like the Irish doing it, we would be saying the same fucking thing! But it's not the Irish! It's the Somalians!
Based on false
your state
information.
At an astounding rate, and I think that most Ohioans would have a problem with.
It is shocking to me that you would assault me by asking a question about reality that you know I can't answer without losing demographics who vote for me. I'm unable to acknowledge that Somalians are committing fraud at insane levels, and we've done nothing about it. Because if I do, I will lose voters. Sir, how dare you ask me about reality?
The lack of even humanity to group a group of...
And this is all they do. They have to make you feel bad. They have to try and shame you for acknowledging reality because they need that compliance in order to keep pushing their ideological bullshit.
Allow your own state to be defrauded at astounding rates.
I am shocked
Billions of dollars taken out of the pockets of working class people.
And again, this is an individual who doesn't even care about Somalians. She doesn't care about the color of someone's skin. She only cares about being able to use the color of someone's skin to further her own ideology and get her more votes.
Going to criminal fraudsters. I certainly have a major problem
in every
with that.
community.
It's like actually just insane. This woman does not belong in our government. She cannot lead. She cannot make decisions. She is woefully incompetent. Get her out. You don't deserve your seat, right? How dare you talk about how Somalians are scamming us? How dare you inform the American people about how their tax dollars are being stolen by Somalis? Don't you know that that's both racist and it's going to remove money from these Somalis, which we don't want to happen? I wanted to show this off because we see so much in current year of like horrific, disgusting DEI sculptures. And this guy actually made a really good looking sculpture. And not only is it really good looking, it's fucking huge. Look at this. Apparently it's a World War I memorial. You would pay for this out of pocket. It's gorgeous. I don't even want to imagine how much something of this scale costs to make. Hot leg. I don't see a single woman working on this. Return the arts to the men. Remember when World War I was the war to stop all wars and the income tax was levied to pay off the war debt, but then we just kept having war and taxes? Pepperidge Farm remembers. What we make and who we are is inextricably connected to our rich history. If you destroy that history and the idea of higher power, you destroy a part of each and every one of us. You destroy our moorings and our grounding. That's why I sculpted the National World War I Memorial, to fight the destroyers. So even if it's been in Washington, D.C. since 2024, I haven't heard about it until now. And this is the guy who made the sculpture talking about why he made it and why he wants to make sculptures like this. I don't think I'm in the tax bracket to be able to afford something like that, but I would love to commission him if I could afford it. It's actually crazy. I want to be able to pay people who make real art. Make art beautiful again. Very nice. Protect it from the copper thieves carefully. There is so much made out of copper that I didn't even realize, just like existing in the area that I live in. And I was like, that's crazy. Nobody's looted any of this copper yet. The statue cost $8 million. Yeah, I have nowhere near that. Maybe I could do like maybe $18, all right? Like here's Travis. He said, quick website request for Ferrero North America, which owns Famous Amos cookies. Isn't Ferrero? Yeah, Ferrero Rocher. I was like, I recognize that. Nutella, Kinder, Tic Tac, Fannie Mae. Isn't Fannie Mae the like student loan people? Butterfinger, Crunch, Baby Ruth, Keebler, Mother's Cookies, Famous Amos. Travis said, on this page, Famous Amos ingredientsforsuccess.com, could you add to the FAQ, is racial discrimination legal in the US? And then the answer, no, we have been reported to the US and New Hampshire Departments of Justice. It also shows a screenshot here that says application requirements. Black small business owners are invited to apply by submitting a short video pitch. Entries are judged by a panel of renowned Black entrepreneurs, and 10 finalists are selected to compete in the next round. Ultimately, 3 winners will each be awarded $50,000 and access to mentorship, educational resources, and networking opportunities. We invite all eligible candidates to apply by completing the form below. And yeah, that's just inherently racist. Instead of saying we invite small business owners, why do they have to be Black? Why are you specifically offering money, access to mentorship, educational resources, and networking to only one race of people? Offering benefits and monetary compensation to one race of people is inherently racist. What are you doing? And then Travis shows an email to the Attorney General at New Hampshire saying racial discrimination by a business in New Hampshire. This is State Rep Travis Corcoran. I'm requesting that the New Hampshire DOJ investigate Ferrero North America, an American firm headquartered at 10 Waterview Boulevard, Parsippany, New Jersey. He links the website and doing business in New Hampshire via retail sales of baked goods and other business activities. This American firm is discriminating against 99% of New Hampshire citizens by excluding them from certain business activities based on legally protected characteristics, race, as seen here. And he links the same website. And the text about how Black small business owners are invited to apply. I believe that this discrimination violates state and federal civil rights laws and would appreciate the DOJ investigating. Patriot. This is absolutely what people should do when they find these violations. And he shows doing it the U.S. Department of Justice. Contact the Department of Justice to report a civil rights violation. And shows the description of what happened. It shows the report successfully submitted. So this is what, if you find somebody doing these things, violating the, like, non-discrimination stuff, just file a report. It's so simple, so easy. The phrasing of this is just so legally loaded. That's how us autists talk. That's why, like, when I sent that email to that one HVAC company where I was like, hey, I got an invoice, but you guys didn't do any work, and so I don't want to pay the invoice. I would appreciate if you took care of this, and if you don't, I'll have to contact the New Hampshire Board of Consumers or whatever. I can't remember exactly what I said. It's been too long now. But they responded in, like, a very angry manner, where they were like, I don't need to be threatened to do right by my customers. We already got rid of the charge. It's like, well, you didn't tell me that, so I'm not trying to threaten you. It's just like I've been fucked over too many times. I'm really autistic about the way I say things. Each reported company is worth 5 to 10 immigrants to ICE, you know? I see hashtag 2-tier policing as the top trending item this morning. Let's make this very simple. It does not exist in the UK. It is a racist dog whistle invented by the far-right Reform UK. Count Dankula very aptly replying, the party told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and ears. I have no idea how anyone thinks that this kind of lying would work. Also, of course, they consider themselves a political commentator. No wonder they're so adept at lying. Two-tier policing doesn't exist in the UK, and we will arrest you if you say otherwise. The UK, probably. The water is on, the reflecting pool is reflecting, and DC is looking better than ever. We're so back! Thank you, President Trump. And it doesn't look like it's full of water yet, but it's full of nice-looking clean water. And yeah, it is reflecting again instead of being covered in disgusting algae. I don't know what the fuck's going on over here though. That looks like weird homeless encampment shit. It just looks so nice. Pool status closed, but for reflecting this time. That's contractor equipment and supplies. Oh, that makes sense. You saw a Democrat woman crying in frustration that Trump did it because she has to admit it looks nice. That's really fucking funny. Platner was down to rape a dude, just not in a gay way. Happy Pride Month. And here's an excerpt, I guess, from some article about Graham Platner. If people don't remember names, like I don't remember names usually, Graham Platner is running for something in Maine. I don't know if it's like a Senate seat or governor or something. He's running for something. And he had like a Nazi tattoo. It's like a skull with some crossbones, but specifically a Nazi skull. It's got a special name. I don't remember what it is. Senate seat, thank you. And he's also just had like some really weird, unironic white supremacist moments. It's called a Totenkopf. Thank you, chat. Thank you, chat. And Dave Rubin posting, he said this a lot. If anybody ever broke in here, I would rape them, she recalled. Saying that he added that it would not be in a sexual gay, or sorry, not in a sexual way, not in a gay way. He was like, I would rape them to show them that I'm dominant.
You're full-blown gay!
I know you're entitled to kill someone who enters your home, you know, like if they break in, you can kill them. But I don't think you're entitled to rape someone if they enter your home. In fact, I distinctly remember a woman getting in trouble for that. There was a woman who captured a burglar and kept him as a sex slave, and she got in trouble for that, actually. The way he described how that wasn't gay was actually extra gay. I'm not putting my dick in a man's ass for gay reasons. I'm doing it to dominate him because he broke into my abode. Like, what the fuck?
That would be gay. It's no different for fucking traps. Just cause they dress like a chick don't mean they are a chick. They got a dick and it's gay.
As long as he says no homo after. It should have been me, not him. What the fuck? More on what was going on, I guess, with artists pulling out of the 250th anniversary. Fuck off. Bret Michaels' guitarist explodes on double crossers after the Freedom 250 controversy. Bret Michaels may have bowed out of the Freedom 250 Great American State Fair last week, but Michaels' guitarist, Pete Evick, is pretty steamed over the reactions he saw as a result of Michaels' association with the event after the initial performers were announced. Within hours of the performance lineup, the multi-week event being announced, some of those booked started backing out. Michaels was arguably the biggest name associated with the event, but acts such as Morris Day and the Time, Young MC, the Commodores, and Martina McBride all distanced themselves from the event before Michaels followed suit. In his exit statement, the singer spoke about how what was being billed as a partisan event seemingly turned into something more divisive that was also posing a safety risk for those involved. The singer himself shared that there had been threats that are completely unfounded and unforgivable. Hey, that's kind of crazy. It still is a, like, non-partisan event, seemingly turned into something more divisive when there is also a safety risk. No, whenever you interact with something that leftists don't like, you're going to get death threats. That's just kind of how things work. That's unfortunately just how things have been. I don't know how insulated from just everything. I don't know where he's been, but that's just normal. In the guitarist Pete Evick's statement shared on his Facebook page on June 1st, the musician offers more insight into the backlash faced over the event, and he calls out a segment of the band's fan base that turned on Michaels as a result of his playing of the event. Within his post, Evick shared that in the 21 years of playing alongside Michaels in the Poison Singer's solo band, he's witnessed the vocalist traveling overseas to play for the troops, building homes for veterans, partnering with several veteran organizations, donating millions of dollars and giving away tickets. That said, it appears as though Evic's biggest disappointment comes from seeing a portion of their audience that had either benefited or received an act of the singer's generosity, then turning on him over his association with the Great American State Fair event. Everyone has opinions, I know I can't change them, but I would certainly like everyone to have all the facts if you are literally turning your back on someone you loved 96 hours ago, says Evic at one point in his missive. He then continues, moving on a very personal note with a completely different tone. If Bret or me have ever put a dime in your pocket, given you a free ticket, a free meet and greet, a free hotel room, a free flight, a photo pass, or let you or your child perform on stage with us, gotten something signed for you or your charity, let you stand on the side of the stage, let you open for us, give you a shout out on social media, gone out of our way to call or FaceTime a sick or dying relative that we don't even know, or if you're one of those people when I've gotten Bret to show up to one of my local gigs and you were first in the line to be close to him who has now openly turned your back on him, fuck off. True and real. That's great. He adds, we see you, we see your posts, fuck off. I'm not saying you have to openly support him, but those that called us friends 4 days ago and have used and abused us and have now turned on us, fuck off. I saw it's pretty great. Evic's full commentary as he shared through his Facebook account can be viewed below, which is probably just what we pretty much read exactly. 4th of July celebrations, which has always been his favorite holiday, 16 of the 21 years, I was unable to spend my favorite holiday with my children because we were out performing in honor of our nation with many fundraising aspects for our troops. This particular concert was going to do nothing for the veterans directly. The only people that actually lose out is us, so we are now not getting paid. So why do all the actual things Bret has done for the veterans seemingly get erased for something that does nothing for them? Furthermore, if you dig and do enough research, you will see that on multiple occasions, we have played Trump's golf course for charitable events. Way before he became a politician, we performed at Trump's daughter's bachelorette party. Everyone has opinions, I know I can't change them, but I would certainly like everyone to have all the facts if you're literally turning your back on someone that you loved 96 hours ago. Yeah, it's actually crazy. It's unfortunate. Like, I love reading this, and I love when people post a response to the fucking seething freaks about this shit. It's obviously never gonna get through to them. I'm never gonna get through to them because they have already decided that they are the heroes and anyone against them has become a villain. While appearing at the Podforce 1 podcast, I'm sorry, the what? There's a White House podcast? Power, politics, and the people behind the headlines? I've never even fucking heard of this. Oh, it's the New York Post? New York Post podcast? Literally never heard of it. What the fuck is this thumbnail? While appearing on the Podforce 1 podcast, Trump was asked about the exodus of musicians from the planned 250 event to celebrate the country's history. He offered, they're not really cowards, but I never even heard of these people. I never heard of any of them. They're boring. I don't even want them. And when I heard a couple of them canceled out, I was like, cancel the whole thing. We're gonna do a rally. Nobody's ever gotten crowds like I get at a rally. And this is where I disagree with him. I think it's funny that he's going to say, I never even heard of them. Who even are these guys? That's funny. But you shouldn't cancel the event and just do a rally. Nobody wants to just hear like another speech and only a speech on something that's supposed to be a huge fucking celebration. I think that instead of trying to get like old washed up Hollywood celebrities who will back out, and I think that Bret here is probably the only one who had a legitimate reason for backing out, because if they're getting death threats, yeah, I can understand the safety concerns. However, you're going to be performing with the president, so safety's probably going to be like pretty on the up and up, right? He's already had like, what, 5 assassination attempts? There's going to be good security there, all right? Just make sure that wherever you are, ask for the male Secret Service agents to like be watching your sector, you know? Just make that request. But it's like, why not go to some smaller artists? Why not look for smaller artists that are patriotic, that would love to perform, and that would put on a good show for everybody? You don't need washed up megastars. You can support up and coming artists. You can get people who are established but aren't as large name recognition as someone like the Commodores, right? I get people who don't hate America, the ones that do shouldn't be there to begin with. Yeah, like for a musician, right? Like if I put myself in the mindset of like, I'm a musician and I just got invited to play at America's 250th anniversary, that's fucking huge. That is like a fucking huge honor. Like that is insane that anyone would be like, actually, I can't play at this event because like Orange Man bad. Like that's just fucking stupid. I don't care about the orange man. It's America's fucking birthday, buddy. The music scene hates America, you know? It's kind of ironic considering that they probably wouldn't have been as successful as they are without being in America. Next month is gonna be pretty huge. 250 is crazy. I fucking hope so. I hope it's huge.